Hey everyone, welcome to the tutorial for the Nether wood farm. So we're going to be starting off with some warp nilium. Place 5 blocks and 2 blocks apart on either end with warp nilium on the diagonals. And now we're going to be constructing a pulse extender. Each of the dispensers will fill to the brim with bone meal. We'll place a couple of pistons here and build a short observer clock, which is going to be important a tad bit later on. So we're going to have some pistons under this. And not fire them off. We're going to be connecting the pistons using the redstone torch to keep them extended, and do that for each of the other states. The warped nilium. We're also going to interrupt the redstone line and repart it. All of this has been explained in my previous video. This is just the tutorial for the slightly more compact and automated version, so go ahead and check that out if you want to understand what I'm doing here. So once again, doing the exact same thing on the other side. The pistons are for breaking the blocks that don't actually grow into trees, and this is the feedback mechanism which sets off the clock again. So second I place this down, you can see the pistons retract for some time and then extend quickly. And yeah, just placing a block there will stop the clock, and we're going to have a piston here which can pull the block in and out to switch it on and off. Next up, we're going to be parting the dispensers using the observer clock, which is why that line of blocks is also doubly important. And yeah, that redstone should actually switch it on. Second we break the block, you can see it sets off the clock, and some trees can grow. Alright, next up we're going to be building the collection chamber. We're going to start off with a layer of glass. The glass is there because we want to place it on top of the warped nilium so that the trees don't grow onto that, the leaf blocks that is. There's a small chance that it will. And we want the nilium to be able to spread. And this also has the added advantage of actually pushing the roots up. For the second layer, it's more preferable to use something like obsidian. I'm using glass just for the looks and visibility. We're going to have an outer rim with crying obsidian, which is blast proof. Fill it up with water, and then we're going to be digging a trench in the middle. The trench is to make up just in case some of the blocks get blown up. You wouldn't need the trench. You would actually still need the trench because the water flow might be obstructed by the trees. And we're going to have some hoppers at the bottom of the trench and place some water blocks on top of those so that it actually protects the hoppers from the explosions. That's why it's important even if you use blast resistant blocks. Alright, next up we're going to be building the explosivification chamber. So the first block I just placed is 30 blocks above where I want it to blow up. I'm going to have a dispenser filled with TNT and walls in that fashion. Redstone dot over there to power both of them. I've also explained this in the previous video as to what actually happens here. And here we're going to be creating a short one-tick pulse generator so that the piston actually pushes out the redstone block, because we're going to get 2 inputs here. Okay, the next part is going to be the clock which actually runs the whole system. So we're going to start off with a standard hopper clock. Hoppers running into each other, comparators out of both of them. So, redstone on either end and a couple of pistons, and we're going to be placing about 42 blocks. I think 40 is the perfect number, and a switch to switch this on and off. Get a redstone block to set off the clock. It's a bit loud. And that should actually start funneling. So on the other side, we're going to have a torch and a 2-tick repeater, which actually makes sure that it's a 2-tick pulse so that it can power the redstone torch tower that we're going to be constructing right about now. Here I'm just checking the line. So we have a repeater on 1 tick, and we actually start the torch tower from there. So this just goes straight up. Now it doesn't really matter about how tall your tower is. You preferably want the dispenser slightly more than 27 blocks. Anything more than 30 is fine. Actually, more than 30 is probably safer, just in case there's an explosion near there. And we're just going to connect that out. Okay, the next part is the one variable that can differ from design to design. We're going to be going for 5 repeaters on 4 ticks and 1 repeater on 3 ticks. This can change based on how tall your drop chute is. I in fact change it in this design, and over here what I've done is I've constructed an extra dispenser type thingy so that we actually get 2 explosions slightly faster. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that you want the piston being powered by the redstone block. Right over there, that's what actually controls the flow of the farm. So now you can actually see it running. So as you can see in the first couple of runs of this, the TNT actually explodes much higher than anticipated. So I do go and change it to 2 ticks, which turns out wasn't enough, as it was still blowing up pretty high up. Some of the glass actually gets blown up because, well, it's glass. So yeah, and finally this is the perfect number. As you can see, it gets done there. So anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ciao for now, bye bye.